Hi everyone, it's Emma, and today I'm going to talk about the manga that I've read recently. Recently I read a bunch of manga and graphic novels, and I haven't really gotten a chance to mention any of them on my channel. Okay, that's not true. I have mentioned some of them, but some of them I haven't really gotten to talk about, so I figured I'd just do this manga wrap-up of the past month. I think it's basically the month of August. The first manga that I have been loving, I almost said devouring, but that would be way too much of a pun, is Tokyo Ghoul. Oops, I haven't read that one yet. I read the first 4 volumes. I've talked about this a little bit. I'm still enjoying it so much. It's become one of my favorite manga in 4 volumes. That's how amazing it is. Just a little bit obsessed with it. I have been wanting to read this series for a long time, but I was really hesitant because it is technically a horror manga, and I'm a bit squeamish when it comes to blood and guts and limbs being chopped off and that kind of thing, but it does not bother me one bit in this manga. I'm not really sure why. In the 4th volume there was a little bit of storyline that was kind of gross, but it is not disturbing. It's just kind of ugh, gross. I love these characters so much. I love the whole premise. I think it's just really consistent volume to volume. There hasn't been one volume yet that I was like, ooh, this was a little weak, which usually is the case with a lot of manga, just because of how it's written. It usually fluctuates a little bit, but this one has been so consistent. It's one of those that is so hyped that I'm hesitant to say how much I love it. The covers are also absolutely beautiful. They reflect the beautiful art style. The 5th one I will be reading very soon. I'm actually saving it because I've got a couple trips coming up, and it's a good thing to have for traveling and wanting to read while I'm traveling. The next manga that I read recently is Kimi ni Todoke. I read the first 3. I read them all within 24 hours. This is what I wanted Honey So Sweet to be. I've read the first 5 of Honey So Sweet, and I enjoyed it, but I was I don't know, it's a little problematic. I don't like everything. This one is perfect. I had been told by so many of you when I hauled this in my Kinokuniya haul that it was your favorite anime, or you just loved it so much, or it was so adorable, and you were all so right. I really enjoy this one because it portrays social anxiety in such a relatable, realistic way. It's a little bit extreme in her case because there's all these rumors that she attracts ghosts and has a negative spirit. People call her by this nickname that has to do with a horror movie. But I think it is so well done as far as social anxiety goes. I just was really impressed with it when I started reading. When you read the back, it's kind of this girl's an outcast and the most popular boy befriends her, blah blah blah. But that's not really what it feels like when you're reading it. It feels a lot more about friendships and this girl putting herself out there, her connecting with people for the first time, and it's just so wonderful. I love it. I actually started the anime last night because I couldn't buy the manga fast enough to satisfy. I've been in Oranhai Host Club withdrawal for months since I watched that, and this is the first anime that has satisfied that feeling. There's good themes and everything, but it's super cute and just warm and fuzzy and great. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is not a manga per se. It is actually a graphic novel, and it is the Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children graphic novel, which is, the art is done by Cassandra Jean. The story, the book, is written by Ransom Riggs. I read this first book, the book, not the graphic novel, months and months ago. I think it's been a year now actually. But I never finished the series. I just kind of got distracted by other things, even though I really enjoyed the book. I was super excited to see what happens. My brother really likes the series. I was excited to read on, but it was just one of those things that it wasn't time yet. Rereading it in graphic novel form made me so excited to finish the series. I bought the 2nd book yesterday at work. I'm going to probably read it while I'm on one of my trips. This art is done by Cassandra Jean, who I've mentioned quite a lot on my channel because I love everything she does. Reindeer Boy is her graphic novel that came out last Christmas, and I raved about this for a while. So one of my absolute favorite things about this was the art, for sure. My favorite thing is that when the main character is in his normal life, it's all black and white, When he comes into contact with the people from the time loop, it is colorful. I'm trying to be like vague in case you haven't read the book, but if you have read the book, you'll know what I mean. So the color only comes in when he interacts with the people from Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. This has been like one of my favorite reads this year so far. If you like read the first book and you didn't feel like all the hype that everyone talks about, maybe try it in this form because it has sold me 120% on this series. The next one is just one volume, and it's Death Note Volume... That's upside down. Death Note Volume 1. I buddy read this with Jessie the Reader, and it was so much fun. I was not expecting to love this as much as I did. I don't know if it was because we buddy read it and like talking about it was really fun. This storyline is so well done. I think the characters are some of the most complex that I've ever read from a manga. The main character is completely an anti-hero. The basic gist of this one is that this young teenager, like in high school, top of his class, he's super smart. One day he finds this notebook that belongs to a death god, and when you write someone's name in the notebook, they die. A lot of power for a like genius high schooler to have, and I think that is why I enjoy it so much, because he is a very prideful character, so the way that he uses the death notebook is just really interesting. There's this other character named L who is my favorite. He's so smart and mysterious, and I don't know anything about him, but I want to know everything. So I'm really excited to continue on with this one. I am going to mention this because every time I mention Death Note in a video, I get this question. No, I will not be watching the Netflix live adaptation. I actually watched the full trailer this morning, and I just cannot do it. It looks like they tried to make it like Riverdale or like 13 Reasons Why, that like angsty American high school story. First of all, it doesn't even take place in Japan, and none of the actors are Asian at all. But it's also the fact that they made the main character an outcast as opposed to like this really smart kid. Because I get that question every time I mention Death Note, no, I'm not watching the live adaptation version. I just am not interested in it. The next ones I have raved about a lot, so I'm not going to say much. It's the Kiki's Delivery Service graphic novels. I have read 1 and 2. They are absolutely wonderful. It's the same story as the anime. If you know the Studio Ghibli film, it's the same story. It was such a fun summer thing, like it just fit the end of summer so well. I still have the third one to read, which I will pick up soon probably. I just haven't been in the mood. Love them so much, and if you are a Kiki's Delivery Service fan, you have to get these. Let me know down in the comments if you've read any manga recently, what they were, which ones you suggest, what your favorites are. I love talking about manga with people, so if you have anything to say about it, let me know down in the comments. Thanks for watching, I hope you have a lovely day, and I will see you in my next video. And I have been in Ouran High Host Club.